Hello, everyone. Today, we want to talk about basic skill in event relation. I'm Professor Yu Chang. Okay. The outline. Okay, we have following 7 steps. Okay, later we'll see how these 7 steps compose as an event relation procedure to solve the problem or create something new. Okay, begin with problem and context. Second is abstract and the system. Then basic operation, function and association, operate, and analogy, and the selection decision to pick up the best idea or solutions. This is outline of the talk about basic skill required for event relation. Okay, what are common goal of human being? Okay, basically we have 3 kinds of the pursuit. Okay, in human being minds. First is for truth, like in science and technology. Second is for goodness. What are good behavior? What are bad behavior? That kind of the moral character consideration. And finally, we want to reflect the feeling to pursue the beauty, kind of the aesthetic and art. So these 3 kind of basic common goal of human beings. Okay, and for these 3 categories of common human goals, okay, possible question can ask for each category shown below. For example, as a science and technology, maybe you can ask why we observe this phenomenon. What are the bottlenecks for the system performance or efficiency? For a moral aspect, we will ask what should we do in such scenario? How do I change myself to make me more friendly? At the aesthetic and the art perspective, we may ask, what do I feel? When do I feel very exciting? Who make me sorrow? And all of these questions will motivate human being to change from the truth, goodness, or the aesthetic 3 perspective. And remember, all these kind of questions should be consider what are the context to have such problem, because we need to understanding when the context or environment change, the question may be changed, the problem may be changed. Okay, step about event relation, we need to identify the problem and the context. Okay, and after identifying the problem inside the context, the next is abstract and the system. Abstract means we need to understanding what are the basic components you're interested in to change for your common problem in the science technology or in art or in the moral question. For example, in the material world, the basic component can be chemical elements. For energy world, the basic component may be the sound, light, force, heat, electricity, magnetic, such kind of different energies. For information world, the basis may be the alphabetic system. And we need to be careful that when we want to abstract the component we interest related to our problem, we need to make sure the component here is inclusive and exclusive. Inclusive means component here are able to describe our problem, okay? And the exclusive means we need to make sure the component identify out, they are not share each other. we need to abstract out those kind of prime or basic component about your problem. Okay. And based on that, okay, you can form the system. So system, after abstracting all the component, what are their relation? So system are those component combined with those component relation, we form a system. For example, okay, in our daily life, okay, we can form system component by three things here: heaven, humans, and the earth. And they are relationship between these three things. Okay, for example, we human beings live on the earth, and then we are affected by the weather induced by the heaven. Okay, and earth conditions sometimes depend on the heaven. So okay, we have three components here: heaven, humans, and earth, and they have relation affect each other to form a system. Okay. So after you have a problem and identify, abstract all the component to form a system, we need to change them. Okay, so you want to change something different from before, kind of we begin to create something new, to invent something new. And how we do that? Okay, actually we have four basic category of method to do that. The first is base operation. That's kind of base math, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, some more concept kind of quotient. You are able to invent something new. Okay, and a very good special case to apply base operation to invent something new, we can see from this called equivalent transform. That was invented by the doctor from Japan in 1966. Okay, that called an equivalent transform. So the best idea is that, okay, the left-hand side is the original system. Okay, A, O here, and the target B, tau is the target system. Okay, and in order to reach the target, we try to subtract something out, add something in, and keep something same between the initial and the final system. Okay, so this is kind of a special case of our invention in base operation. He applied the summation and subtraction. Okay, so subtract out, add something in by keeping some kind of the property function between the original system here and the target system. We can create something new from known system, original one, to the target one. Okay. The next big category of method called the function and association. So function, like for the math, we try to find the mapping relation between two sets. And the one important mapping relations utilized a lot in the create or invent something new is combination and permutations. So for the language spell system, every year, every month, right, we can spell out new words, new meaning by combination and permutation of the basic component alphabets. Okay, and the other is kind of combination invention. For example, when you try to combine the pen function with writing with some cut or the spike function like from the knife or the scissor, okay, you can have a new tool combined with the function with write and the cut. Okay, so that's kind of combination invention. They do have some kind of the pattern to combine a pen with some cutter. Okay, And the other in this case is called association. What is association? Association is try to associate different concepts in your mind, okay, to generate new things. So you can find something common, something different between different concepts, or function combination from different concepts to have a new things. Okay, that's called association. Okay, the next category of the method called operate, kind of a multi-nary operation. The basic operation in general is one input, one output, or two input, one output, kind of addition, subtraction. Okay, and we can extension this kind of basic operation, kind of unary, binary operation to multi-nary operations. So for example, like here, right? For here, this is trinary operation. We try to have three components here, 1, 2, 3 to have output. Okay, and if you have different input, you can have a smiling face here, nose, eyes. And if you using this symbol, okay, still a trinary operation, you can have a quiet face like a mouse, like this shape. Okay, operate. And the other example about operate, multi-operation kind of error factor analysis. Okay, in the industrial analysis, you want to know the error. At the beginning, some fault happened. Some fault may be some kind of second category sub-issue to get this fault. And for each sub-issue, we have some kind of minor issue. And for each minor issue, we can have some kind of reason why I have such kind of minor issue. And we may have ternary, kind of the issue come from 3 factor, or binary come from 2 factor, or unary come from 1 factor, or quaternion, some minor error issue came from 4 factors. Okay, so this is kind of using the operate multi-nary operation, okay, to form the error factor analysis. Okay. The last one for category for the Invenrelation basis for is the analog. Okay, that is a very interesting story. Okay, about the invention about the saw. Okay, about a saw, a kind of cutter for the wood. Okay, and about I think 2,500 years ago, the ancient Chinese great designer called Lu Ban. Okay, he based on observation of the shape of the grades. Okay, like the boundary of the grade, he sees some kind of the soul shape. Okay, and this kind of small teeth like of the shape kind of cut the Lu Ban's foot. So this kind of analog invention to make Lu Ban think about how to learn such kind of alternative small teeth beside the leaf to the metal have such shape to form the saw, a very powerful tool to cut the woods or kind of the any hard objects. Okay, so this is a good example of analog. Okay, so this example we invent something new, tool kind of saw, but analogy from the natural behavior. Okay, and this is another example of analogy. Okay, for left hand side, some transportation tool on the ground. The right hand side is transportation tool on the air. So left hand side, we have like kind of bus, kind of truck, tank, and tank truck. Okay, so analog to the air, we have the passenger aircraft corresponding to the bus, the cargo aircraft corresponding to the truck, the compact aircraft here corresponding to the tank, and the arrow refueling aircraft here corresponding to the tank truck. Okay. So analog here is that they have the same function, but one kind of transport tool on the ground, the other right-hand side is transport tool on the air. Okay. So all right-hand side kind of come appearing after the left-hand side. So analog from something we know from the ground transportation tool to invent the similar function transportation tool on the air. Okay. So finally, we can come up with a very idea. We need to find the best one to selection and decision the best solution or the best new things by compare of the pro side and the con side of your new solution, new idea, whatever. Okay. So that will help you to make a decision. That's the last step of the Invenrelation. So in summary, the Invenrelation procedure begin with problem and the context. Okay, we are not just identify problem, we also to know what are the context of such problem, because the same problem may be not a problem when you change the content environment. And based on the problem content, you can identify what are the component systems there through the abstraction and the system. Okay, then go into the circle region. And the circle region, you can utilize analog, operate, function, and association, basic operation, different methods. This is a very high level detail. Can see my book, Invenrelation book, to create something new, systematically, and finally, using selection and decision, compare the pro and con, to pick up the most useful, most effective, whatever, based on your criterion, most proper, suitable solution based on your problem. Okay, I think this high-level introduction about interrelation basic skill can have you better motivation to go our website. We will publish regularly about how to apply Invenrelation to solve problem or create something new. Thank you for your attention.